Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? We're so happy you're here tonight. Is jam packed with electric stuff. Um, we have, I can't believe we got her. She's an icon. We have Elysze Held and the amazing Diane D'Angelo. Leo, hit that promo.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am.
Wow. We got so much to cover tonight. So, first of all, I want to thank Leo for putting all of this together. I don't know how he does it. And thank God for Leo. I would be lost. So, first, I want to tell everybody I'm so excited. I'm doing a show at Greenroom 42 on Sunday, May 25th, which is, Sunday, 9:30. And finally, I'm so excited. The link is up so you can get tickets. So if you go to, we'll post the link anyway. There's an in person. You can
It's
go.
actually in the description. If you want to get your tickets now, you go click it and get them.
Okay, great. So yeah, there's a live stream. If you can't make it or you're out of town or whatever it is, you can get the live stream version and then watch it live from the comfort of your own home. Or you can show up live, and they have beautiful space. The sound is gorgeous. The food is delicious. The drinks are amazing. So come and check us out. Lynn Portis is my musical director. Has been my musical director for 35 years. The incredible Greg Schlotthauer. He is playing. Lynn and Greg are switching off keyboard. We got all kinds of stuff: keyboard, piano, and then Christopher Hines, who is my wonderful friend and co-worker at Road Recovery, is playing drums. So it's going to be a great time. I'm very excited about it. Okay, speaking of Green Room 42. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's what it'll look like when you go to the Green Room 42. That's the link. They're side by side. One is for the live in house, and then the other one is for the live stream. So you click on the one you want. And the tickets, I believe, are really reasonable. And so come and check it out. We're going to have a wonderful time. Speaking of Green Room 42, we had a wonderful young lady, Gabrielle Ruiz, reach out to us. She watches our show, and she is repping this incredible group. They're going to be at Green Room 42. They're called the Randy Andes. Amazing singers, amazing group. And I want to read some of the names because this particular lineup, Elysze Charles, Jocelyn Longquist Klein, Allison Mahoney, and with special guests this time around, Courtney Reed and Wesley J. Barnes. These are all Broadway, wonderful, bright lights that you either know or you're gonna want to know. They're lovely, high energy, amazing talent. So if you're looking for something fun to do on Friday, May 2nd, go and check out the Randy Andes. It's our pick of the week. Okay. And Gabrielle, thank you for reaching out. And we're going to have them on our show very soon. We want to have them on so you can meet them in person, and then they'll have shows down the line and we can talk about that. So let's check in with our people. John Pietero, who we adore, has checked in. Well, first in, let's give credit where credit is due because she's always the first in. Danielle Alexandria Alchemy, our friend. Danielle is a psychic, a medium, a spiritual teacher, past life regressionist. She talks to the other side, and we're not just saying that. She actually does. I have had sessions myself, and I'm blown away by Danielle's gift. So if you want to check Danielle out, go to her website, DanielleAlexandriaAlchemy.com. And she has many services, and they're all wonderful. And they also make amazing gifts. I've gifted lots of stuff to my friends and family. Lori Towers, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yes, it is, Lori, because you're here. And John Pietero, Lori and John are married. They're amazing people. They're my friends. They're Leo's friends. And they are, Leo, I want you to pop on for this because I know Leo is an expert with Lori and John. But Lori and John are DJs, they're music historians, they are writers, they're musicians. They are the keepers of records, both audio and scripted. So Leo, tell us about where we can catch John and Lori every week.
I'm sorry, I'm just playing with my necklace here.
Oh,
My-
I have mine too.
My Axie Oligarchy necklace.
I wore it this weekend. I love it. Lori Towers makes these, yeah. I wore it out. I love it. I don't want to lose it, so I keep it here until I'm going somewhere. So anyway, so tell everybody about Lori and John.
Well, tomorrow is eccentric behavior on Sheena's Jungle Room. So usually it's Beneath the Underground, which is John takes the lead. But at the end of the month, we celebrate all rockin' women, all powerful women like Maria Gentile and Lynn Portis, actually. Yeah. And we have a lot of friends that
and the Ruminators, who we love.
And the Ruminators, that's right. And tomorrow it's celebrating all women. Rockin' women, some women poetry, some women jazz, just all. And if you don't understand the strength of a woman, I don't know where you're at. I don't know where you're on this earth.
Thank you, Leo. I love that. Leo knows. He knows. So yes, check out John Pietero and Lori Towers. Tomorrow night will be Lori Towers and John Pietero, and we love them. They're our friends and they're wonderful people. Speaking of wonderful people, my cousin Rena Cugnali-Berge has joined us. Hello and happy Tuesday. It was Rena and Ron Berge's anniversary yesterday.
Is that why I saw those photos going around all over Facebook?
Yeah. So happy anniversary. I remember your wedding well. I had a wonderful time. And, Ron was our original Mr. February in our calendar.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
That's right. He was the original Mr. February. And so we do have calendars still. If you didn't know what we do here, we have something called the Nothing But the Apron calendar. And this year, the 2025 Nothing But the Apron calendar.
You don't have the wrong one up. Whoops.
No, that's all right. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. But who are our April hotties? And remember, they wear nothing but the apron. Now, I don't make anybody do anything. They come to me and say, can we be in the calendar? I'm like, of course you can be in the calendar. So it's Ivana and Loci. Look how cute they are. They're a couple.
They're so adorable.
They're adorable. That's their apartment. They're cooking something and they're wearing nothing but the apron as per instructions. And so this is the last month of the last time, April, though, that we can show them, and Leo pointed that out. So thank you, Ivana and Loci. Now, if you want a calendar, I still have some. I always order a few extras, so always reach out to me, and I'll get it to you one way or another.
And all of our models are hot, but if you don't have one for May, I'd suggest you get one quickly.
Oh, May.
Quickly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. We're all going to go to England. There's your hint for May.
No.
England.
We already went. That was last year.
Well, no. I'm talking about last names.
Oh,
England, right?
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Okay.
All
right.
Also, anyway, another cheeky picture for next month.
That's right. So check it out. We're glad you love our calendars. We love that you love our calendars. Anyway, what else you got, Leo? Because we have a jam-packed show and we want to get our guests on soon.
I think that is before we forget, we might as well, since it's important. We don't want people to forget to use this phone number.
Oh, yeah. So 202-224-3121. That is the hotline for your congressman for the Capitol. So please, you have a voice, use it. Just give them a call and tell them what you need. That's what we elect people for. Whatever side you're on, it doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, Independent. You have congressmen and senators. Please call them and let them know what you need as a voter. And that's the way that we all stay connected. So we like to let you know about that. Okay, so our first guest tonight. Okay, we have a lot. Beautiful, Leo. A++++, bringing everything in. Leo is amazing. All right, so our guest tonight is a friend of mine. She's been a friend of mine for many, many, many years. But she is a real bigwig and a heavy hitter in her field. And we were talking last week, and I said, you want to come do my show? Like, I'd love to have you on the show. We're just like yapping it up. And so thank God she sent me her bio, because I know a lot of what she does because we're friends. But when sometimes you don't know all the details of someone's, professional life. So let me just read some of this to you, because there's no way that I can memorize it. So her name is Elysze Held, and she is a renowned fashion expert celebrated for her multifaceted career as a stylist, producer, fashion director, and editor, often referred to as Miami's fashion authority. She was the senior contributing fashion editor for Indulge, the Miami Herald's luxury magazine, and it has been featured in New York Times Style, Vogue, W Magazine, WSJ Style, among others. Ely has provided on-air fashion commentary for Reach TV's Business Traveler, WSVNS's Deco Drive, and CBS 4 as a red carpet expert during the Oscars and Emmy Awards season. A longtime producer for New York Fashion Week, Elysze is also a sought-after host and MC for fashion events and red carpet galas. She was the face of the inaugural Miami Design District's national ad campaign, appearing on billboards across Miami and Palm Beach and in global publications. A style icon herself, Elysze remains dedicated to curating wardrobes for her clients as a private stylist. Now, that's just the short bio. So there's so much more. We have Oscars and Emmy Awards season, more red carpet, W Magazine, New York Times. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Victoria's Secret, Entertainment Tonight. I mean, it's crazy. The whole show would be about Elysze if I read this. So instead of reading it, we want to zoom her in. I love her to pieces, and she's just like, she's the best. She's off. There she is. Woo-hoo!
There she is. You'd think she could have combed her hair.
Oh my! Listen, we were fluffing earlier, right? You look fantastic.
We were fluffing. Well, because I was a little cold. We're in Miami, so I keep the air conditioning's on 65.
Yeah,
so,
you'd have to. Is it warm down there today?
What?
Is it warm there today?
It is. It's hot. It's
So you have to keep it on.
Yeah.
All right, so honey, you're always somewhere, right? You travel a lot. You're always doing something. You've moved to, all over. You've been in Miami. You've been in California, New York. Now you're in Miami again, right?
Now I'm in Miami, and all the time, as you know, that I've lived in Miami. We always had an apartment in New York because I was working Fashion Week. Our son lived up there. I had a lot more clients at the time. I was doing a lot more work. Yeah. And as we know, in every way, shape, and form, in every field, the world has changed. The world has changed. Now, what is it? Everybody with a iPhone on their camera is an expert.
I know. We've talked about this too, and everyone is an influencer. That must drive. I mean, that drives me crazy. So it drives me crazy.
It's funny. Years ago, somebody I was at Saks. They had just redone the whole thing, and I'm at Saks on Fifth Avenue shopping for a client, and this guy comes in just like dressed to the nines, but with cut off shorts. And I look at the girl there. I said, "Who is this guy?" "He's a major influencer." You know what I said? I can see his hiney. I can see his hiney. Who's going? I mean, this is respect. This is still Fifth Avenue. I can see his hiney, but at the same time, one of the things about influencers is that it depends on who they are, because I was a guest recently at this big gala, and I was seated with influencers. They were hotel influencers there, and they were, wait, I'll get my phone. They were on their phone. They were like this. They were working it. They were working. That is their job.
Right.
That is their job. And it's like people, because we're all so free now and freelance and
Right.
everything else, people don't understand so often what it is that other people do,
Right.
you know, and they see the results. Like, I will tell you, when you said about the red carpets, I was asked to speak and to lead a panel at the Women's Power Series at the Ritz-Carlton. And oh, there's my billboard right there. Wait, I got to get a picture of that. I haven't seen that for years. There it is. Anyway, so the person that went right before me was an attorney that spoke about AI. And she said, and don't forget to greet the person next to you and just say hi. And then, so I get up there and I go, hi. Turn to the woman next to you. It was all women. Turn to the women next to you, 400 women in the room, and tell them how fabulous they look. Tell them you think their skin is amazing. Ask them where they got their hair cut. You know, come on. All we see before we understand how brilliant you are is we see how you look.
Yep.
You're put together. You're kept. I mean, you're clean. Come on. Give some, you know, that's
right,
how
yeah.
you empower people. You do something, you connect with them.
Yes, absolutely.
And the room was electric. I was even buzzed from it because
Yeah.
people, we couldn't settle anybody down.
Right.
We couldn't settle 400 women down because they're reaching across the table. They're talking, and this is 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't even do 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, one of the things about working with fashion is somebody actually said to me, you know, for someone that works in fashion, you're very accessible. I said, I see people in their underpants.
Yes.
You know, I
Yeah.
have seen movie stars in their underpants.
Right.
You know, but here's the thing. I know that we've talked about this before, but I learned so much by paying attention to the entertainment and design industry because it's really about the work. It's about the work.
Yep.
You know, and you look at, you know, and I'll say to people, but this is my job.
Yeah.
This is my job. You know, it's like whether or not I'm dressing this person or dressing that person, you know, what size do they wear and what colors don't they wear and what is their favorite thing? You know, so it's really so much about.
Well, so let me ask you now, Elysze, when you get a client, whether they're, you know, a huge star or is someone that, you know, really needs your services, and what is the first thing that, I mean, you have to have conversations with them.
Right.
So how do you tap into, like you just started to say it, but see, that's really interesting. Like, we don't think about that. We just think that you know, you go through what do you need to find out about them before you go and do
Well, I have a 2-page, I mean, it's almost like they have to apply for it, but it's a 2-page, it's a questionnaire. And it's like, don't tell me what you just don't like. What do you hate? I mean, I've had people say that they're thinking in terms of fashion. I hate paisley prints. I don't like stripes. I don't like, so we know, boom, that's what we're not going to go to. A lot of people, they really, truly don't know what looks best on them.
Right.
You know, and someone said to me once, I was being interviewed, and they said, what would you say to somebody if you walked by them and they were dressed so horribly? And I said, no, why in the world would I insult somebody? Right. She left the house. She thinks she looks great, you know, and she's not paying me. I'm not consulting.
Right. Good for you.
Yeah. Why would you hurt somebody? And, you know, that's where and this is like my, I have this longtime client, and she goes, you have to say it. This dress was hideous on her. She goes, you have to say it. And I said, we can do better.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we can do better. I think you can do better.
I love that.
I think you can do better. Let's try it. Let's do better. That's all. That's all we have to do.
So let me ask you now, like, I know like how I started in my business. I was that kid that was always singing. Like I was singing in church, blah, blah, blah. How does someone like you in that artistic venue, is it something that you loved as a kid, or did you?
Well, you know what? This is how we connected so much. You know, I worked for American Conservatory Theater in the 70s, in the 80s. in the 70s, actually. And I started in the box office. That's what they made all the students do. Start in the box office, work the box office, be a schlepper, da, da, da. But at the same time, you know, one of the things is that you have to learn, this is when I lecture at the schools, I say, pay attention to what your gifts are.
Beautiful.
Pay attention to what your gifts are. Where does your eye go? So one of the things is I'm very tenacious. Big surprise, big Italian surprise. I'm very tenacious. So one time an assistant director said, ask that little blonde over there, because she can find shit. Tell her what you're looking for, and she will not come back until she has it. Now that was the start of it, but I would pay attention to what you're looking for. And let me tell you something. When you said you were going around singing everywhere, if they said I need a 1920s suitcase for this trip, for this what was it, for this trip, for this 2 minutes on stage, this is what I need. Well, I would research it. I'd be at San Francisco Public Library. I would look, you know,
that's before Google. That's before search engine.
This is before Google. Go to libraries. You know what I did? I went to, I got a job once to, when I transitioned over to the fashion industry. And you know how I got that? Because the guys that I worked with at American Conservatory Theater were all in school together. We started doing the window displays on all the stores around. We just pitched it and said, no, we do this all the time. We changed them.
Really?
Yeah. And you know how I got the job at Macy's? What Macy's was like Bergdorf Goodman then, is because I was a dresser backstage and I could change somebody in 30 seconds.
I love
And I
that.
looked at the fashion director and I said to her, she goes, well, what? I said, you need these models changed right away. She goes, yeah. I said, let me tell you something. She's got 38 seconds to be back out there on stage. Even though she has half of the costume on under it, I got to get her out there. And that's the goal. What's the goal?
That's
so
fantastic.
it's like all the principles connect, you know? And I was just part of what was on this panel when I was interviewed for it. They said, do you think that fashion is art? And I said, no. They said, why? I said, let me just tell you something. I am a huge ballet and theater fan and a huge art fan. Okay. Now, there's no parent that's going to pay for a child to get, or a person to get a master's degree in art so that he can see one of his great pieces of artwork on a skirt. Okay. That's not how it goes. It's just, there are fashion designers who are artists, true artists, and not many of them. But, you know, clothes are made to be worn. Clothes are made to be experienced. We are all doing better when we feel.
So I'm going to stop you for a second, because you said fashion is not art. Yet what I'm hearing you say is that the fashion designer is an artist.
The fashion designer is an artist.
Right. So I want to make sure that that's clear to people, because
right. That's very
saying the actual piece of clothing
right
may not be art, but the person that designed it is an artist.
The person that designed it is an artist, not all of them though.
Right.
You know, there's many of them who are more marketing geniuses than they are artists.
Yeah.
But like Gian Frankenferre, may God rest his soul, was an architect. You know, there's Iris van Helperen, who is, I think she's Dutch. I mean, she makes these things that one can only wear to the Met Ball because it's art. It takes your breath away. There was a designer, you know, that was the other thing. I don't put it in my website because she passed, but I was in Iris Apfel's movie. I went shopping with her for 20, 25 years, you know, and somebody just stopped me when I was in a store yesterday and said, oh my God, HBO just did the Iris movie and I just saw you in it again.
Cool. That's great.
I said, really? I said, I forget that. And I said, but now that you know my voice, I'm talking in it the whole time. But by the time, and this is how things go, as you know, Albert Maisel actually shot most of the footage himself. Oh my God. But he passed before the movie came out.
Oh, wow.
And he was so up, he had to be 85 at the time. He was so up for everything. And, you know, we went all over Florida. I even went shopping in, you know, I went even to the Chelsea flea market with her, you know, on 25th. We went to so many places. We did so many things together. But when she called me to tell me I was in the movie, she goes like this, "You made the movie." What? You made the movie. She didn't call it a film. You made the movie. But where you see you in the movie is when you're talking to Carl on that day in July where you wore all white. You look like his attendant. I said his attendant was wearing my Gucci jacket because she was cold.
Isn't that something?
And that's something.
Yeah, I love that story.
Yeah, great memories.
Yeah, beauty. That's wonderful. So, what's the name of that movie again? Because we want to be able
Iris.
to.
Iris
Iris. It's just called Iris. Okay.
Iris by
So
Albert Mazo.
Wow. You know what? And I love what you said about him because that, see, to me, that is a true. That's a person that was put on this earth to be creative till the day they died, literally.
Till the day they die. And
that,
you know, I have this photo, and you know, I don't even think it's in my website. But Albert said that when we were shooting that day, and I was in white linen because it was July in Florida, and he said, "Give me your phone." And Iris and I are both in white, okay? And we are next to a yellow, like, picnic table. And then there's a yellow stripe on the ground, you know, because it was parking. And there was a yellowish truck that was in the upper right. And then the top of the building was yellow. So he is seeing this whole picture like a director. And I have that photo. I have that photo. I mean, we're in white, and all around are these tones of yellow. It's like, how did he see that? That's what's fascinating.
That's what makes an artist, right?
Right. That's what
the
makes
way
an
they
artist
see the
an artist.
world. I love
It's
that.
the way that you look. And that's why, like with there's this one little stylist that's in town. She's adorable. And she was always like for younger people too, like a little competitive thing with me, da, 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 da. And her mother comes up to me once and she goes, "Would you look out for my girl? Would you just tell her things here and there?" And I just went, I'm a mom of a kid in their 30s. Of course I'm going to.
Yeah.
So you know what? I ran into her today. And she goes,
Wow.
"I can't believe that you called and told me how I should be posting, you know, my photos." And I said, you know, show all of you.
Right.
I did. I sent her a text right away. I said, "I want to give you some advice. You didn't ask for it, but I promise your mother."
Okay. Well, that's really wonderful.
Yeah, because it's about giving back so much of it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just all that karma of like, you know, you take care of someone's kid just by making sure they're okay. And the world is taking care of your kid. Your son is wonderful, by the way. I love Zach.
Thank you.
So anyway, I happen to know your son. He's a lovely person. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring on Diane. We're going to zoom you up, bring on Diane, but don't go far. But okay, because we're going to zoom you back in. But Elysze, if someone would like to hire your services or find out more about you, what is the best way for them to do that?
You know, my Instagram is my name, @Elysze.
Okay.
And or my website, but preferably my Instagram, because I answer all the DMs, everything, all the time.
Wonderful.
And in the contact, my email is actually on my Instagram.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I mean, I could talk to you for 3 hours.
I know, right?
I love it. Well, that day we were talking on the phone with like two chiacchieronas. That's Italian for like little chatty Cathys.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, you have to come on the show. We got to.
I was so excited. I'm still excited.
Yeah. So don't go far. I mean, whatever. We're going to bring on Diane, and then we'll zoom you back in about 10, 15 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Our friend Elysze Held. Wonderful. Gorgeous. Beautiful. I love her. She's fantastic. Nice and a nice Italian girl, right? Like just that feisty, fiery Italian girl. Now we have not just one Italian girl, but I actually did this on purpose because I like to match up my guests for certain reasons. But our next guest I ran into at the MAC Awards before the MAC Awards had begun. And I said, Diane, you have to come on my show because I follow her. She's just so talented and grounded, and she's got this great vibe and this beautiful voice, and she's just a class act, but she doesn't have any of that, like she's also humble, and that's a quality you don't get every day. So she won an award at the MAC Awards, and I spoke to her. I said, just make sure that you get in touch with me. Let's get you on the show. And so we're making it happen. She's got a show coming up in a few weeks, and we're going to talk about that. But we just want to bring her on the show because she's lovely and great energy.
Hi.
There she is. Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, honey.
How are you? Good to
I
see
am
you.
doing great. I took my glasses off. I mean, I know we could all wear smart glasses, but
Yeah, no, but you're beautiful. You look great
Thank
either
you.
way, because I've seen
thank
you.
you, love.
I've seen you in photographs with the glasses. Today I was shopping for frames, so I get it. And some people can really rock those. Like Elysze has great glasses. I'm
She
not one of those
does.
people. I have to be able to just have like something I can see with. But okay, so now first and foremost,
Yes.
you just won a huge award.
The Hanson Award.
Tell everybody what that is.
It's a board of directors award. It's for someone who has shown, ongoing excellence in cabaret, and this is for my dedication to the art of cabaret, and it goes to someone who hasn't been nominated yet.
Oh, I love
And
that.
that was me.
I'm surprised, though. I'm surprised you haven't been
Well,
on it.
I was in New York for 6 years, 98 to 2004. And then I moved back to San Francisco.
Okay.
And I was there for 15 years and came back to New York right before the pandemic to
Wow.
get the singing started again. And we all know how that turned out for a while.
Right.
So I really wasn't out doing anything. I was just working on my craft, and at the time I was still working with Rick Jensen, and then he passed away.
I know. I
So
loved him, by the way.
I loved our Rick.
There was very few people as talented as Rick Jensen.
He was one of my favorite humans.
Yeah, he
No
was a
one made
beautiful
me
guy.
laugh more. So
Yeah.
that was a big loss. And but now I'm working with Gregory Teroyan, and I
Oh my
absolutely
God,
love him.
he's incredible.
He is so talented. He has that light touch. He is a jazzer, but he plays all things. But he has this beautiful light touch that
Details. I would. The
Woo!
word details is what comes up on the musical details.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm happy to be working with him now. So it's only been really the last couple of years that, I'd taken 15 years off to, I don't know why I did it, but
It doesn't matter. It was you had to do what you had to do.
I did what I did, and I ended up in this really crazy work environment. I was at a law firm, but then ended up at a private equity firm with the person I worked with, and worked like a canyon mule. I worked so hard. And then I thought there's really something missing in my life. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, I have to move back to New York. I have to do this. And I was so happy to. And it took a little time to get things going again because of the pandemic. But I'm just tickled that things are working now and falling into place.
Well, we're so glad that you're back in New York and doing wonderful things.
Thank you.
You've been very busy. I mean, you do a lot.
Yes, I am nuts. I am always so busy. I have so much going on. I love traveling. I just came back from a big trip in South Africa, which was
Really
amazing. It was an
Wow.
incredible trip. It was called A Return to Joy. This is how I like to live my life.
Yeah.
I'm joyful. I go to the park. I feed the squirrels and the horses and the birds, and they feed out of my
When's
hand.
When's your birthday, Diane?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, that's a nice sign.
I am middle of August, the 16th.
Okay,
So,
beautiful. My
how
mother
about
was a
you?
Leo. She was divine. I'm a Gemini, so I'm like a 14-year-old that never grows up really.
See,
But
and
it's okay. I'm okay.
most
with
of my best friends are Geminis.
Yeah, Leos and Geminis get along great. And Elysze is a Libra, which is another
Oh.
sign I'm very compatible with. My girlfriend's a Libra, and they're really detailed and fiery and like brilliant. I love the horoscopes. I just find them fascinating.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, and there's Leo.
Here's our Leo.
But I'm a
And
Sagittarian.
he's Sagittarius.
And
so
Leos and Sagittarians are get along very well too.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
My best friend in
absolutely.
Missouri, she's my fruit fly. She's a Leo.
Yes, Leos are great. Great. Lauren Muffson is a Leo at Brandy's. Now, Diane, you have a show coming up,
Yes.
right? So why don't we talk about that?
Yes,
Let's talk
it's
about your
called
show.
Closing Credits. So my whole life, I've loved going to the movies, loved sitting in the theaters, and I would always wait until you heard the last sound at the theater. And so I realized these songs that played over the closing credits were amazing. And some of them really tied up the movie in a beautiful way. Others were written specifically for it. So I've got songs from Working Girl, from
So you're doing closing credit songs in your show?
Yes, that is the premise of the show. It's the music.
Concept.
Yes. And so, I used to travel a lot for work, and every time I was on the plane, I would watch a movie, and these songs were so great in the movie. So I would look and take pictures at the end. I'd wait till the end of the movie and take pictures of the closing credits.
Wow.
And then I'm like, well, what's this song? And so that's how I started just keeping track of these really great songs. So that's what I'm doing with closing credits. And
I love that.
It makes me very happy to be singing this music again. I did it once in November and then took a little time off over the holidays, and I'm back.
Okay, so let's talk about the date. The date is, go ahead.
It's Thursday, May the 15th at 7 p.m. at the newly renovated Laurie Beachman Theater, which is glorious.
It's reopened. I'm so glad it's reopened. That place is beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Did you see the lights?
No, not yet.
If you look at the pictures on the website, it is
Purple.
so
It
beautiful.
looks so purple. It was so beautiful.
I know. I can't wait to sing there again.
That was always a gorgeous space. I've done a few things there over the years. Different group things that I loved. I really enjoyed the experience. And I love that room, but now I know
walls,
that it's up
they
there.
have this like blue tile that it's really narrow strips of it. It's gorgeous, but it looks like a wave. I mean, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So we're gonna photograph that one as well because I have to. I need to memorialize it.
And Michael and Tom are the owners now, and they're doing a beautiful job.
They're wonderful.
Yeah,
they are also marketing geniuses.
Yep.
And I'm so happy to be in their orbit.
Well, I'm glad you're there. So folks, I can't say enough about Diane. She's talented and sweet and really smart and great at what she does. So go check her out at the Laurie Beachman Theater. And it's Thursday, right? It's a Thursday?
Thursday, May the 17th. I'm sorry, May the 15th.
Right. And that's at 7, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
That's probably why you said 17, because you saw the 7 in your brain. So there it is. Yep. And go and check her out. And you can just go to, I believe, lauriebeachmantheater.com.
Actually, it's thebeachman.com now.
What?
Look at that.
How fancy schmancy.
I think it redirects you or gives you an option.
And okay, we're going to bring Elysze back in a second, and then we'll all hang out. But now,
I found a picture for you.
You did? What did you find?
It's
the
beautiful.
Laurie Beachman.
Of the Laurie Beachman.
Put on my glasses.
Yeah, let me see if I can enlarge it a bit. I wonder.
Yeah, Leo
Look
is
at that room.
I know. Oh my God, that's
Book your show.
And the ceiling too is lit up.
Yes.
Yep.
What?
But all those little lights over the stage. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I have to.
It looks like they redid they went LED, which is much more cost effective, and they can do so much more with those lights nowadays.
Yeah, I know. That's like that's a really big difference. It's like a just there's something subtle about it, and yet like when you take photographs or videos, it really makes a difference.
Yes, that's
so
what I want.
Yep, big plug for the Laurie Beachman Theater, the Beachman.
Yes.
Go and check that out. And we're so glad that it's reopened. And Diane, how wonderful that you are going to be there
Yes. Thank
to get
you.
that going. And we're so happy for you. Please go and check out Diane. Now, Diane, were you when you were a kid, were you a singer too? Were you one of those kids?
Yes, I sang all the time. I had a transistor radio because I am a child of the 60s.
Me too.
And you had the little thing in my ear and would fall asleep to the transistor radio. And I one of six. We were six of us in 7 years. So my
Wow.
parents were busy, but I was the singer. Everyone can carry a tune, but I'm the one that wanted it. Though my parents were too. My father was a sax player, and my mother had a beautiful voice. Dad had a band, and he played all over the tri-state area. But my mother's voice was so lovely, and I loved singing with her. They're both gone, and I'm happy to continue what they gave me.
Yep. Well, it's your job. You have to. You know, I feel like if you're given a gift, it's kind of our duty to carry that gift.
Oh, well, that's how I felt too.
Yeah.
You know, my dear friend and mentor and director, Lena Katrakis, who I know
a good friend of mine.
very well. Yes. She, years ago when she wrote that song, and I think that it was the title of her first CD, Leave a Little Something Behind. And so I'm recording too. I actually finished a CD that I'm just finalizing now so I'll get that out probably within a few months.
Yeah, take your time with it. It's ready when it's ready.
I'm very happy about it. We have I have a couple songs by Mike Renzi, the late Mike Renzi is playing, Ted Firth, the Gregory Troyan Trio, and beautiful Sean Harkness. So,
I love Sean. Oh my God!
So it's giving us a little taste of everyone, and I'm excited for it.
Those are amazing musicians you're working with, and Lena's great. I love Lena. Lena,
I love her.
30 years. Yeah.
I know. You two, you remind me of one another.
Yeah, we get that a lot. She's the Greek version of me, and
exactly.
I'm the Italian version of her.
Speaking of which, I'm so happy that you represent the ethnic, the ethnic middle-aged women.
Well, we have to.
I need someone, and you were it, Maria. I'm so
that's
happy.
It. You can always count on me to hold down that fort.
I kept saying, where is the person for ethnic middle-aged women?
Yeah, no, we have to. All right. And that's where we are. So listen, I love my age. I'm not someone that
me too.
My age. I'm very proud of it.
Girl, I'm going on Medicare this summer. I mean, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Mine is in 2 years, I think. 2 years in 2.5 years, I'll be eligible. I can't wait. I'll take all of it. I'll take every discount I can get.
Me too.
No
MTA,
kidding.
here we come.
That's it. All right. We are going to Zoom Elyse back in, and then we're going to do the food section of our show. There she is.
Here she is.
So you met before the show, but I want to reintroduce you, Diane. This is Elyse.
Elyse.
Another fiery Italian. I love this. This is like the trilogy here.
This is. It feels really good. I feel at home.
Okay.
And I'm older than both of you.
You know what? By this much. Yeah. By that much. That's
still happening though.
And fabulous. Just plain old fabulous.
Well, right? It's funny. On I did a podcast with them, and they said, I hear what people tell me a little something about yourself, dear. I go like this. I've been there, I've done that, and I'm still doing it.
Nice.
And then I go, and tell me, dear, what else do you need to know?
Right. That pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah, it wraps it up. It's just like, and one of the things is I just turned to someone just today when, I just said, I'm so tired of teaching people how to do their job. Yeah. When they just say, we don't do that anymore.
I know.
Right. And that's why what you're doing is not successful because, when we did it across the board, we made money, we were gracious, I don't know. It's
And you
just
wanted to learn what I'm hearing what
Wanted
you're
to
saying.
learn.
We agree on a lot of levels. You wanted to learn from people that went before you. You were in awe of them. So
awe.
you wanted to be around them, you wanted them to mentor you. And I
Yes.
found, and not to complain about young people, because I work with young people, I could complain, believe me, and I do. But what I find that is, to me, disappointing is that it doesn't exist unless you have to stop them. You have to stop them and tell them. And sometimes they're a little, like it throws them off a little bit. But you have to remind them that you had people that you looked up to and that they should maybe listen once in a while.
Right.
And it's hard, it's hard to get. They learn when they learn. It's a whole different generation, and they learn from their phones a lot. But what I do love is that if you do put them in a room, and we do when I teach, and Leo's a teacher, so he knows, lots of times, especially with kids, if you can get them to socialize and talk to each other, they're dying to do it. They just don't have the opportunity because life isn't set up that way. Right, Leo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They don't know they can do it. They don't believe in themselves until you're like, okay, now look what you just did.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know what I think also? I think that they're so used to the way that the social media is set up that they think it makes it okay for them to say whatever they want, because in some
Right.
way, shape, or form, they think it's anonymous, or, their one-liners or their 140 characters, just abrupt.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, I mean, I've even said to somebody that made a comment once that I'm sorry, excuse me. Have I said something to make you think it was okay to speak to me like that?
Mm.
That was like a quick judgment. What is it? And then and I was going to say that to someone else recently, and finally I just said, this is kind of inappropriate.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes
And I didn't care if I sound like an old lady anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Be gracious. Be gracious.
Yeah,
Learn how to
absolutely.
speak to people.
Well, they
Listen,
eventually find out too. They'll find out on their time about where we've been and what we've done. And I come across it myself. I love being the OG in my day, day like my a corporate job. And when they hear of all the things that I've done and the experiences that I have, then I get the a little more respect. But I let them come to me. I'm just living my life and doing what I do, and they eventually come to me. They feel it.
yeah, that's good. Well, that's very much a Leo trait, I get that. I mean, you know what? My favorite teacher I ever had in my life, it was in high school. Her name was Mrs. Rosen. She was a badass. She dressed to the nines.
Oh, love her.
Yeah, she was great. And she would come in, and if we acted up, she'd say, I don't need this job, You think I need this job? My husband owns a linoleum company. I don't have to be here. Exactly. And she'd say, I'm here because I want to be here and I care about you shits. And I loved her. I was like, you guys shut up. She's right.
Real talk.
She was
Real
real.
talk.
She was great. She always had
Real talk.
a lot of jewelry. She was fabulous. I loved her, but she was really creative. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we do a food section, very quick little clip. And I always put something together for the show because I want to stay creative.
Ooh.
Tonight I was running late. I usually cook a main course, then a salad, and then dessert. But tonight I combined the salad and
the shrimp.
That
Yes,
was so good.
because I'm going back on the keto tomorrow. Not tonight.
Let's
Tomorrow.
do it together.
Because I have to get ready for my show. My show's May 25th, and I have to get into my pants. That's it. Elyse, I have a thing. I never go up a size because I won't buy the next size up.
Oh, yeah.
If I buy the next size up, I will fill it out. So when I am doing something and I have to fit into my good clothes, I have to go on the keto. So then I lose about 10 pounds and then I can wear my pants again. But anyway, so what did I do tonight? I have romaine lettuce, red cabbage, Bermuda onions.
Oh my
Looks
God.
like mine.
Okay,
It's a
good.
color coordinated salad.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing. And then I have hothouse cucumbers.
Yeah.
I love hothouse cucumbers And for our Italians,
Olives.
Sicilian olives.
Woo!
Sicilian olives. And then what I did with the shrimp is I took a little butter, a little Tuscan herb olive oil, Old Bay. I put Old Bay, some crushed red peppers, and that's it. I just like very quickly kind of crusted them up nice. And then what I'm going to put for dressing is just plain balsamic vinegar
Oh yeah.
and a cilantro flavored olive oil. So that's going to be our meal tonight.
Wow.
That way I can ease back into but don't get too excited too quickly because I had to have my last dessert until after my show.
I see
Bring
it.
on
My
the-
eyes are going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cannoli.
No.
It's banana.
It's a masterpiece. Okay, so Elijah, you were talking about, masterpieces and architects and all that, right? In the fashion industry.
Perfect.
I have become a fan of Turkish bakeries. I just discovered them this year.
Oh yeah.
And in Jersey, they have a huge Turkish population, and they make the most amazing desserts. So this is a coconut cake with shaved coconuts, but this is a white chocolate like casing, and then they fill it with white chocolate and whipped cream and coconut and raspberries.
What's at the bottom? Is that chocolate?
No,
Underneath?
underneath it's just a little thing that holds it, like a little plate thing.
Oh, I thought, oh God,
Yeah.
they're adding chocolate to it too. Oh
No,
my
but
God.
they have them with chocolate, and they also have them. They call them Dubai cakes with pistachio and chocolate.
Are you
So-
going to eat the whole thing?
I'm not going to be able to eat the whole thing because I'll go into a diabetic coma. But I would love to eat the whole thing if I could. I'm very bad with desserts, but I will eat like half of that,
Go
and
ahead.
then I have to throw it out.
Go
throw it out.
ahead. Keep eating.
Go ahead,
Come
keep eating.
on.
So anyway, this section of our show is called "Go Ahead, Keep Eating."
Keep eating.
Keep eating. That's what we call it. That's a line from Raging Bull, by the way. A lot of people.
Go ahead. It's East Coast.
Yes.
My
go
friends
ahead.
in California, they'd never heard it before. And my sister and our
Go
friend
ahead, keep
Jamie,
eating.
we play cards together. And when it's our turn, instead of, we're like, go ahead. And we're like, we realized it just a few months ago. It's like, we say it all the time. And then I saw it on your segment. I'm like, this is meant to be.
Yes. Absolutely.
Go
Go ahead. Yeah.
Right.
No,
Go
it's-
ahead.
But I guess you're right. I mean, that's an Italian thing for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's also an East Coast thing, kind of. So let me just check on.
I have a question or
yes,
a
Leo.
point of information.
I know we're all
we
yapping.
A San Francisco connection. I went to school in the Bay Area from '95 till I moved to New York in 2008.
Where?
How long? I went to Cal State Hayward. I was in the East Bay, but I
Okay.
worked
I
at the
lived in
Cliff
San
Hotel,
Francisco.
right next door to the to ACT. I worked at the Cliff
The Cliff Hotel. Next to
Beautiful
ACT 450 Gary.
What?
Yep.
Ask me my
That was
last
over-
address. I don't know, but American Conservatory 30, ACT 450 Gary.
Yep.
I was
We
3
were
blocks up the
495. Gary
Yeah.
is what the.
I used to
the
line
Cliff
those
was.
costumes up.
Really? How
Yep.
cool that you all.
Wow.
And
What a
you were out
great
there.
area, right?
A beautiful area.
Yeah. So people
I'm
say,
Diane,
going
where
out
were
there
you from?
Thursday.
oh,
actually.
you
Are
are?
you?
Yes.
Where
I'll
are you
be out there.
staying?
With a friend. On Russian Hill, right on the corner,
Oh,
right as
oh,
the cable
wow.
car is
What
going
about the
by.
Clay Theater at Russian Hill?
Oh.
On Russian Hill, some of the best. It's almost like on the Upper East Side, all the church Salvation Armies and things like that
Yep.
are
Oh,
all
yeah.
on, all on
Yep.
Fillmore and Clay.
Right.
Yep. I actually taught
was
children's theater up in that area.
Oh my God! Yes.
So,
Yeah,
so
Russian
you,
Hill. Yeah.
that I love California, and I only spent a few days in San Francisco, but you just fall in love with it. You could.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's.
Yep,
I'm gonna
you know
have to go back out there. Now.
I'm really very, very so grateful to this day that my career started in California, because what happened is it was in the 70s and 80s. So what happens is it gave me the way of looking at the world where it was inclusive and everybody was out to help someone else. And, like the biggest job I ever
Absolutely.
had with the biggest title. Well, actually, I've had bigger titles, but the best one was literally Levi Strauss. And I was recommended by somebody who couldn't do it that time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's like, just like with, just like in the business, I remember somebody even saying after I got here to Miami, why are you helping us? I didn't know I wasn't supposed to.
Right.
Because it comes back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I mourn it to this day. I do. I
Yeah.
mourn that, my places that I want to live in life, I want to live in the block where Cherry Lane Theater is.
Oh,
in
yes.
West
Village.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes.
And then Mill Valley, California, and back to
Oh.
North Beach, right
Yes.
above Washington Square in
Yes.
California. Wait, where I lived at the Filbert Steps for 7 years. And
Wow.
when I got a job here, I had rent control. So I sublet my place.
Right.
Oh.
Wow.
My last place was Sausalito. I lived
Oh
right,
my God.
and I looked out
Sausalito.
on Angel Island every day and the sunrise.
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
It was so gorgeous. So yeah,
So
That
beautiful.
ferry. Oh
I
God.
miss it sometimes, but
I
this
do.
is New York.
I know.
It's New York.
Well,
I love
wait,
it.
and then
Yeah.
I go, and this is Miami.
Yeah.
I know. Well, but Miami's beautiful too. I've been to Miami a few times. My girlfriend.
Miami's doing very well. Miami's doing very well. There's a lot of good things that are going on in Miami, but what's happening is there's a big disconnect between,
Yeah, we
Life
know.
in reality.
life and who's moving here and who's not. And you would be shocked at, you would be
Yeah.
just shocked.
Yeah, I know.
I don't
know.
post anything political. I want
Yeah.
you to know.
Well, you
Nothing
can.
political.
Can't.
Yeah.
I try not to.
I can't because it's all the news here is political and it's all like their brand of politics. But at the
Right.
same time, I have to,
You have a
Mhm.
job to do.
survivalist.
Yeah. Well, you have to. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't believe it. This hour flew by. It's almost the end of our show. We have like 2 minutes left. So first of all, I want to thank you both for just bringing all your great energy and like color and sass and all that stuff. Now, so the show is about creative people for creative people, and a lot of people that listen in, because we go into podcasts as well after this, and there, people come here for inspiration. I mean, I do. I come back every week and do the show because I want to be inspired. So on days, Diane, let's start with you.
Yeah.
On days that you don't really feel like doing it, how do you get up and do it anyway?
Well, I know it's going to make me feel better. So I just do it. I do it because even though if I don't want to, I don't not want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just do it because I feel better, period.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that. You just do it anyway.
Yeah, I do it anyway.
Yeah.
And Elysze, if people were looking, let's say the younger generation was all ears, and they did want to know what they should be doing to be more open and more creative, and what would you tell them?
I would say it's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not all about you. 2, but pay attention to what your real gifts are. Like I learned, what is it that your gifts are? Is it that you can follow your eye? Is it that you can draw? Really? And you know what? People say, oh, fashion is your passion. No, fashion's not really my passion. I'm so good at it though. So that's one of the things. Learn what you're good at. Learn what you're good at. Learn what, this is how I learned what I'm good at. But when I do things and I love live theater, I love ballet, I love art. I could stand there and I love everything. And I'm in awe of anybody that can carry a tune. I mean, and all of it, anybody that can play an instrument, it's amazing to me. And it's a respect,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we all just have our gifts. And maybe, mine, I don't know. I just show up. That's just what you just said, Diane. I just show up and I just do it anyway, because at some point in that day, I'm going to pass it on to somebody else, And
you stay authentic. Just be authentic. And that's what I want. And that's what I love to see. And what, I just saw a show just when I was running in to make it for this show. And it was a debut, and she was so authentic and so
how
beautiful. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it was really lovely. It was
Yeah,
really
I love that.
Yeah,
Well-
I love the word authentic. You know, I think people have been telling me since I'm like 12, well, what you see is what you get.
Oh,
That's true. Yeah,
Right.
like our aunts used to say to us, hey, what you see is what you get.
Right.
You know,
Right. Oh, the real deal. She's the real
real
deal.
deal. Yeah, she's the real deal.
oh yeah.
No
Yeah,
nonsense.
we're
They used to say
we're the
she's
real
no
deal.
nonsense. We're the real deal. I love that. Well, Leo is the sweetest person, and Leo, thank you for taking care of everything and pulling stuff
I'm
up.
so impressed.
I know, isn't he amazing?
I'm so low tech, so thank
Me
you.
too. Leo's amazing, and I can't thank you enough, Diane, Lies. What a great show. We had a good time, right? We had a really
Yes,
this
you
is
did.
really
My
good.
pleasure.
And yeah, so now it's in podcast. It'll be on all platforms as of tomorrow. Leo uploads it to everything, and you can just click on all the links. You'll see, and this show will be on there. Continue the great things that you're doing. We're so glad you took the time to be here. And to our audience, I know we didn't get to you folks too much tonight, but we had a lot going on. And thank you for coming back week after week. Jamie Salzano checked in.
Jamie, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right.
Terry Donberg checked in. Ed Kutu checked in. So a lot of nice people that we didn't acknowledge the first time. We come back every Tuesday. We're here. And remember, we love and appreciate you. Have a wonderful week.
Love and appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.